Morning, guys. It is day, I don't know what it is. We've been out here a lot this last week, almost every day, and we are actually almost done with the plumbing. You can see here we've got all of our return pipes for the fish tanks ready to go. We've got our plumbing in the ground. We're ready to connect it to the tanks. Unfortunately, we're waiting on some uniseals to get here before we can actually do that. And then getting them in there is going to be the challenge. So with enough lubricant, hopefully we can get it done easy. You can see we've already got our cone clarifiers set up for the baffles problem, where we wanted to know how to mount baffles. We're going to end up drilling 1/2-inch holes in the side, and what we're going to do is we're going to mount these CPVC frames inside, and we're going to attach our boards to the frames. CPVC is food grade, so it'll be all right. But let's in the future maybe get some prefabricated cone clarifiers. Might be easier in the long run. But let me turn you around real quick. So you can see here we've got our barrels, our bioreactors hooked up. This will have fish or bird netting. This will have coldness media, and then it's all going to come in here. There's our standpipe that we haven't quite cut to specs, but you get the gist. We're still waiting on the uniseals for these dudes over here, and we have completed our pumping mechanism. Although we're right now in a kind of a pickle where we are thinking about actually sending the pumps back and getting some that are external. It's an idea. It's in the works. I mean, we've already done all this work, but at the same time, it's like if something happens to the system, we're gonna have to take the lid off this thing again, and then we're going to have to just like pump the water out and then somehow get the pumps out, which is going to be a pain. So yeah, we're on the drawing board about that. But here you can see we finally got the liner out. This stuff hasn't seen the light of day since we started. It's complicated, right? Because we have extra on both on the length and the width side, but it would have been prudent probably to get a little bit more. I don't know. We're currently in a bind. We're trying to figure out how we're going to attach these to the concrete blocks. There are two ways you can do it. One is with wood. You can roll the liner over the edge here and then bolt the wood to the sides. That'll hold it in place. But I mean, this is like $200 worth of wood. So we could run this, all the way around the system, but that's going to be kind of a pain. The second thing we're thinking about is the liner doesn't quite, like if you go over this overhang, there's not quite enough over this one, right? I think in retrospect, if we did it our way, if we could do it again, we would have gotten one really big sheet to go over both troughs together and just, kind of hump over the middle. I think that would have been preferable, but hindsight's 2020. So yeah, it's a mistake, but hopefully a mistake we can learn from, and that won't cost us the system. Something that we're definitely considering is on the inside portion here, on the inside wall, or on here. We're thinking about just using really big washers and concrete bolts to run it through here. The other dilemma, of course, is like I'm not really jazzed about the idea of this being flat up against here and bolting it. I would like a little bit of lip over the side. So one thing that we're actually considering is filling some of these gaps with concrete, and then once it sets, we'll have kind of like anchor points. Then we can bolt. We could put that over. We could take this one here, put that over, and then bolt them together. That would definitely save on materials. So I think I'm gonna let Chris know when he gets here. Right now it's just me, but finishing up the bulkhead fitting frames thingies. I can't talk this morning. Bulkhead fittings, sorry. You want this thing nice and kind of level with the ground here. because you're going to screw this honking thing on to seal it with this also absolute unit of a gasket. So that's cool. One thing that I probably shouldn't have done is attach the bulkhead fitting to the pipe, because I was so in a hurry to like see where the where the level was with the ground, that I didn't think about how we have to lay the liner in this bed, and we have this thing sticking out of the ground. So this will be our one tricky bed. This one I went ahead and prevented myself from getting excited, and I just left the drain portion open, so the bulkhead fitting is chilling. So then this will be easier. We can just, you know, feel around for the drain under the liner, and then we can just cut an exact hole, and then we won't be worried about having too much liner exposed. So this is definitely one shot, one kill with this thing. If we mess it up, then we're totally out just one whole liner. They did give us some patching, so that was nice of them. But you know, I always prefer having stuff intact whenever we're doing it. So I'm sure you understand. But yeah, that's our progress so far. We're so close. We're almost done. And then once we finish attaching all the plumbing, once we know for sure it works, once we know for sure everything's sealed, then we're just gonna do a test run. We're gonna fill it with water, probably not maximum amount of water because the whole system holds 1,600 gallons. That would be a lot of water, but probably a quarter of it, you know, maybe. But we'll have to see what we need to do. But yeah, so we're leaving all the pipes exposed in the ground to check for leaks. One thing we did learn the hard way is when you're doing plumbing, PVC plumbing, it really helps to really use a lot of PVC cement. So you always have two components. You have your primer, this purple stuff. It dries in like 30 seconds. It's super quick. You usually want to let it cure a little bit longer than that, but you can use it pretty quickly. And the second portion is the blue stuff, the actual kind of the cement, right? So when we first started with these huge pipes, we were just doing one round of primer and one round of cement, and then we would just, you know, push it in and it would stick, right? It was like, it's kind of like if you're working with half-inch pipe or something, that's usually the go-to because it's so small, you're not worried about it. But when the pipe is 3 to 4 inches in diameter, then you have a lot more surface area to cover. So we had to go back, undo all of our connections because they were loose, and then reattach all of them. So what we do is I'll turn this around. You always prime the outside, you prime the inside, and then when you're ready to glue, you put your blue stuff on the inside, put it on the outside, and then put it on the inside again. Like just a lot of glue. And then when you put it in, push all the way in, quarter turn, not quarter inch turn, what am I talking about? And then hold it for a good 60 seconds. You want that thing just like, you want the glue just gushing out of it, so that you know it's for sure a real tight seal. So some of these pipes, we did not do that to. They're smaller diameter pipes, but nevertheless, we are thinking about, do we want to take them out of the ground? If you can see here, look at this. So we're like, okay, cool, T-junction, no big deal. And then it's like, oh wait, we have a connector here, and it's underneath the 4-inch pipe that we've already finished. So yeah, we're really thinking about what we're gonna do with that. Also, quick tip for everybody: if you're ever doing connections, go with these guys. These guys are great. These little rubber like quick connectors. It's so much easier to work with. And if you have to make adjustments, you just unscrew it, you take it off, you move stuff around. These were way better. So I think in the future, if we ever do couplings for anything, especially on these guys here, where the pipe is so short that, and like you have to push them through these uniseals, right? So it's already a tough job. It's like, it just made more sense to go that route, because you can go through all the hassle of pushing things through the uniseals, and then you can just, you know, put them up together and, you know, put them together. But we found out that whenever we had already pushed them through the uniseals, it was almost impossible to connect them effectively, right? Because you got to give a lot of force and a twist, and it just doesn't work this way. So yeah, I think in the future we're going to go with just the rubber rubber connectors. It'll just be so much easier. But yeah, you can see that we're all done here. And Chris was talking about, like, can we just do rubber on that side? And in my mind, I'm like, yes, but at the same time, you know, I want everything to kind of look the same, to look uniform. So if we have one side with just regular PVC connections and then one side rubber ones, I feel like that'd look a little weird. But it's his call, so we'll see. But yeah, that's where we are in the system. We are very close to completion, and hopefully in the next, I want to say week, maybe 2 weeks max, we'll be done. So, and we'll test the system. If everything works, we can finally bury the pipe. It has been raining on and off out here, so you know the ground's really muddy. You can tell, like, that it's just, you know, this used to be grass, and we've piled up so much dirt that now it's just kind of washed it flat. So altogether, just like not the best working condition, but we make it work. So yeah, we'll see you guys soon, and take care. All right, big development on the trough situation. We mulled it over, talked about it, and what we decided to go with was we are going to fill all these with concrete. We filled 75% of it with dirt, so we don't have to use all the concrete. And then we filled it with concrete here. So what we're going to do is the trough is going to overlap this up to here from this side and up to here from this side. And what that's going to do is it's going to let us bolt it straight into these dry concrete sections. And then from there, we're going to go with some standard anchors and bolts, maybe just anchors on this side. So we'll put the trough lips over the edge here, and we'll just drill straight into the concrete. Part of the reason for that is it's going to save us on time, it's going to save us on cost, and it'll keep it pretty stable. So yeah, for now we have to wait on the uniseals to get here, and we're going to have to wait on the bolts and everything else. So I think we're going to wrap up today, and then next week is Christmas, so we won't be here next week. At least I won't be here next week. We should be here the week after that. So I will see you guys in the new year. Peace.